with KRÜ on the defense, and you're seeing Mazino ready to take contact, a shock dart primed and ready, little bit of damage done, and Mazino follows up with the kill, but he's not able to get out of there alive. Still trading from the grave with his nano swarm, thinning out the numbers of ZETA and making it almost impossible. Oh, definitely impossible for these players to follow up and make it through those smokes.
Yeah, good luck, makiba. It's going to be a little bit of a tough one for him to try and get through this. And Klaus is going to be there to close out and full best of 3 series. Because we've been, well, yesterday I enjoyed Gambit doing so well, but maybe not the fashion in which it happened.
Now this is looking like a clean sweep until the kill comes in from Laz. Only one player dropped, though, over on the KRÜ side.
Ultimately, this is where we want to see ZETA actually come onto the board, and they've gone through with the early fault line, trying to do some damage, but so aggressive out of the side of KRÜ.
Yeah, trying to make use of those weaker weapons and doing a good job of it with that kill traded out to start with. But ZETA do manage to recover that man advantage. NagZ getting all the way down there for a kill. The Bulldog, the dash out, and now it's a 3v3.
Yeah, they're making this one competitive, that's for sure. A slowdown from ZETA, just patiently waiting to see if there's any more aggression coming out from the defensive side. Now, they've left a solo defender of Mazino on the other side, so they don't really have to worry too much about their rotations. Alarm bot into mid as well to catch anybody going in that direction. So his point is to basically just not move. Just wait patiently, see if anybody triggers that alarm bot, and then they can actually make the rotation if necessary. Although saying that, they actually go for a little bit of a gamble already, with Klaus now finding a player outside A. They can go back to just waiting on the sides.
It's the info game, though. With 40 seconds left, you spot a player outside that site, kind of tucked away. It doesn't look like he's lurking. It looks like they're about to hit the A site. That's why KRÜ still have 2 players in position, ready to take these fights. But takej sneaking in towards heaven, might just have the backstab. Oh, no, he's spraying away. They know he's here now. Running over to try and help his teammates make it through the choke point, but there's still going to be 2 guys in position, and NagZ is delivering on the Bulldog, the ranged ADS, but as he falls, there's 12 seconds left. They need the plants. It's a 1v1, and it goes KRÜ's way. That will be the bonus. Yeah, most definitely. Whether it's down through that A-long aggression or whether we're talking about the mid plays on Bulldogs, there were so many important moments of aggression, controlled aggression out of KRÜ. With the 3-0 on the board, they are now facing into what should be a pretty easy one. Sheriffs in the hands of the Japanese side of ZETA as they look to take a fight towards B main and hold down on middle and outside A for any sort of a push. But they're not getting a whole bunch offered up to them just yet. Right. Keznit goes out, takes easy range duels up against these Sheriffs, has support on top mid. I mean, this is perfectly played to a point, but what is that from Laz? A quick double return, and all of a sudden, this round, which was looking surely to be in the hands of KRÜ easily, comes under threat.
Yeah, he's been a player I've been very excited to see on the international stage, but if they can help steal this round away, it would be huge. However, KRÜ falling leaves it all onto Laz, and I'll be honest, Mitch, I don't think he's going to win this round. He doesn't have the spike. It's about as far away as humanly possible, and oh, he's unlucky there. Doesn't manage to dodge the turret completely. Might leave it as a little bit of a surprise, and even gets the connection onto Mazino. Klaus has to be careful here! He just got his 4th kill of the round with the Sheriff, and it comes down to a 1 versus 1, but there's only 15 seconds. Why is he pushing this? Why is he pushing? That's so risky from Delzik. You know what, maybe I'll hold off a little bit on getting too excited. Again, though, we're going to see these early pop flashes. So much information available for the side of KRÜ, and in fact, Laz, he's just going to pop his ult almost instantly. Not a lot of info to go off of, and he's only done a bit of damage.
2 tags, at least now they know exactly where these players are positioned on the site. They know who is here and who they're dealing with, and they've tickled them up nicely. With a minute 15 on the clock, there's still plenty of choice there for ZETA, and they are starting to reposition towards the bottom of mid, moving around towards B, but now with NagZ finding that kill, do they still decide to move towards this side of the map? They know there's an operator with free reign, but they're hoping that takej can find them the space by pushing up through middle to allow them to really put the pressure on this Jet.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that he spotted the alarm bot. That's why he's just hesitating, moving any further forward. I don't know if they're going to expect it to be this far forward, though. And actually, having that dash available just means he can get back out of there without any problems at all. Finally, Reita will put him down, but it leaves them in a position still with a man disadvantage.
Yeah, and their positions are known. They know there's one splitting in through middle. Takej is trying to get something done, catch them on the rotates, but there's very few angles given away. KRÜ are playing a tight game right now as they peek on out. The trades are there. And they start to go ZETA's way with only a fraction of HP on each remaining player. A 1v2 commences. DeLaTam has to do it all on the Astra. Stars to play with, but he won't be deploying them just yet. Looking to take some duels. He hasn't checked his backside. This could be a big problem as he creeps onto the site. Reita can take the backstab and close out the first round. That's going to be DeLaTam with a Spectre in hand. The rest of the team on pistols. He's just going to be falling back, a very slow approach from KRÜ, despite the fact that, you know, previously when we saw them with some of those weaker weapons in the bonus, they were all about the aggression. This time, they're swapping it up.
Yeah, still getting information fairly early. We're going to have the aftershock used to just try and clear some of those closer angles. And in fact, they're just going to Rolling Thunder straight into the site. A bit more of an issue for some of the players caught back, but hey, they're just going to go pushing all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, this is the ideal scenario, really, when you're on the pistols. They've already burned an open. What's happening here? KRÜ are coming in with 4 kills, as clean as you like. A Blade Storm in the hands of NagZ that does the majority of the work, and makiba is left alone. An easy double spray down, but he can't get any more. They're right back on the board with 5-1.
Yeah, and more worryingly as well, like the round that was won by ZETA was incredibly close fashion and could have easily gone the other way. Again, we're going to see the early Sky Flash coming through. Reita getting a little bit stuck, but he's popped his own Blade Storm. It's already gone. That was the only thing really that they had in this round, and the rest of the players weren't following in. They were just waiting back for him to basically do everything on his own, and it just seems so disjointed from ZETA.
Especially,
I'd hope not. I don't know. Like that one round, though.
I'll say this. I much prefer the comp they're running, that's for damn sure. There's a whole lot of possibility and potential for it there. Just a shame that, I mean, again, it really kicking the delegates, the fact that they had invested into the Rolling Thunder versus that eco. Now, Reita's found the opening. We talked about the B main control that NagZ had found before, and he's taken down, but Klaus doing the heavy lifting on the side. He keeps on going, and the spray is good to connect on Laz. Even though they've given up the site, they have definitely not given up the round. Couldn't get much better moving into this round, at least you would imagine. Now, last time that we saw Sheriffs in the hands of Laz, dude put up 4 kills and almost got the ace. If we can have a little bit more this time around, you could have a second on the board, and there it is, already starting out with a wallbang headshot on the Mazino. I don't think this guy should buy a rifle anymore.
Pot flash through. They don't actually move off of it. Reita is going to go in for the peak. Trades coming through. It's not awful, but the spike being dropped is a little bit more of a problem. DeLaTam still has to be careful, though. If he gets caught out being aggressive, it could be a weapon in the other player's hands, but never mind. He's going to take the peak versus his doppelganger and give them the advantage back.
There's a lot of things that I have questions about here, and it seems to be on a basis of synergy. I mean, ZETA coming in with the flash there, but no one follows up on it. They wait, and then eventually they peek dry afterwards. I mean, maybe they were trying to scare him away. I don't know, but it seems like the synergy's a little bit off over on their side, and you can see that these kills are just constantly swinging the way of KRÜ. Again, it is just Sheriffs in the hands of ZETA, but at the point where you go 8-1 down, you don't really have those kind of excuses of ecos and so on.
Now, for KRÜ, we aren't too sure just yet, but at the moment, well, they're absolutely dumpstering ZETA.
Well, this is a full buy from ZETA, and a round that they so desperately need if they're going to have a chance here in map number 1. They are upping the pace as well, moving in towards the B side, but NagZ, having been ever impactful with this operator towards B main, will now be using it on the site itself. And the lockdown that's come into effect buys him time to reposition. He's actually going to move back towards main and prime up for a kill as he comes around the corner. There's the shot to Laz, the most impactful player for ZETA arguably so far, now out of the round. Only one, though. Only one dealt with on that short push initially. Hunter's Fury comes in to help out. DeLaTam is picking them up on site. And yet again, it feels like ZETA do a little bit of legwork and then run straight into a brick wall.
That was wonderful. That they had everything set up, and now only KRÜ stands in their way. A 1 versus 4 turn 3. It would have to be one hell of a clutch. And
30 seconds
as you said,
left.
they desperately need a round like this. 30 seconds for him to try and play with, as he's going to go rotating straight into Delzik. They've got the bait of the turret and the peek from the Astra. I've seen keznit on the attack multiple times through different maps, just pull off ridiculous individual plays. And yeah, if you're leaving him to get just 2 rounds, I think you'll be all right. And well, that's if they even just need one player to pop off. NagZ, again, prime position.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough enough one for the attackers as they push on in, because Delzik's in position and ready to take them down. In fact, the whole team's contributing on this one. The pistols getting a little bit done, but as we said, economy just doesn't matter at this stage. It's all or nothing, and for ZETA, it is nothing. Double digits hit within the first 11 rounds. KRÜ.
I can't think of one moment that he's achieved anything, which is a worry. You're going in for this double duelist, you need them to perform. They're going to try this once again with the dash through. He's been stunned by his own teammate's ability. They've been able to escape out of it. This is going catastrophically wrong for ZETA, and what keznit is just battering them.
Please excuse me. Oh, right, okay, Labs recovers and he's got 3. You can see different. The amount of work these guys have put in, and it's not just down to new metas and all that sort of stuff. They just look like a far better synergized team. Now we're having ZETA desperately trying to hold on to control. They have their whole team here. This could be a second round on the board for the Japanese side, and in fact, it looks like it could be. Takej has been silent all map long, but he steps up here for a big 3K. This could be a lifeline for the now defensive side, unless Klaus pulls something incredible out of his back pocket.
Yeah, let's give it a second. Klaus is still standing, but thankfully, Reita is there to close things out.
He is waiting outside B main for somebody to walk through, and Laz is about to give him the opportunity. I saw him edge forward, but he tames himself, takes the headshot nice and clean. And now, well, the KRÜ aren't really sure where they want to go. It looked like they were going to blitz into A off the back of it, but they've shifted focus. They're coming towards B main.
Maybe realizing that Laz only has a pistol, potential to overwhelm him, but KRÜ's spot, I don't think they're going to be expecting anybody to be here, and, well, landing absolutely everything. A couple of confidence rounds, flawless looking incredibly likely. They come into this one normally considered a bonus round, but they actually have themselves a couple of rifles here. Laz not investing into anything, and the last can afford to buy up, so they still have the possibility for a couple of heroes to try and step up and maybe, again, get them a little bit further into this map.
As if Reita is actually playing outside B main with a judge. Absolutely ratty play style. He has a ghost to play with as well, I think, so he can still take range if he needs to, or retake into sights. Pushing up to B main, though, now a little bit of trouble starts to brew for Mazino, who gets taken down all too quickly. Takej in with another, and this buy round has not started out well for KRÜ on the attack.
Oh, Reita, though, maybe overextending a little bit. You're in a spot, a 5-on-3. You don't need to give anything back at those sort of points. He'd even retrieved himself one of the rifles. And we're going to see the fault line tagging up NagZ. But again, the re-aggression is starting to cause problems. And he almost looked like he was going to correct that. Thankfully, ZETA will close out the round
to make this a competitive map. Off shot not going to land for Reita right off the bat, though. KRÜ really up in the pace here. Shock Dart kill comes into play. Seeker's deployed, interestingly enough. They know now there's 2 players on the site, but the ranged advantage sits heavily in ZETA's favor, and they are just taking every single duel as far away as they can. Frenzies aren't really on that one. It was surprising. Looking at the start of this round, we mentioned in the previous that Laz's aim is absolutely insane. So thank you, Tom Forecaster, cursing him. The Hunter's Fury is going to be removed right away, as well as the top fragger for ZETA. This is going to now require somebody else to step it up. Another hero of the round. And so far, when we look at this team, Takej is the one that we expect to deliver those performances.
Yeah, he's even popped his Empress into this one, so has the ability to get himself out of dodge. It's going to run out before he fights anyone, though.
Problematic for sure. The recon coming through, going to be a little reveal. They already know that he's there, but they've spotted Takej too, and they've taken him down quite quickly. Oh no, this lurk from Delzik. They're not even checking it. They're not even looking. Oh man. When 5 players are still alive, crossing mid, haven't given up the control with, that's a big mistake. A big mistake indeed. Now one that they've just paid a big price for, with KRÜ now on map. And
there isn't, well, there's envy, but other than that, you're not seeing one of the teams that we expect to be in like a top 4 spot, or even a top 6 maybe. So It's going to be interesting. Laz, a very early pop. This is something he does quite regularly. And takej, these are the plays again, being a little bit more aggressive into mid. Him and Laz tag teaming to find themselves a double opener. But there's still a few players on the board for KRÜ.
Yeah, I really like that play from ZETA. The Hunter's Fury pop early, I could take it or leave it, but the fact that you have takej take the kill, dismiss out, and then set up with Laz, so they have that beautiful double peek when that player comes around the corner. Absolutely gorgeous to look at. And as we come into the late stages of the round, KRÜ are walking into a stack. There's 3 players here for ZETA. They are ready to take this fight. But it's NagZ, the first around the corner. What a clean flick to start it off. He's going down to the classic here. His teammate falling with a wallbang headshot. makiba just about keeping this competitive with low HP on the other 2 KRÜ players. It should be a nice, easy retake for the Japanese side.
Wow! Okay!
That it certainly was!
Oh, he's so good. I love watching Laz. Like, genuinely, it's so enjoyable. Be it the aim we've seen from him so far, or just getting both players with the shock dart to close out the round. A triple for him, still
very fast mid-take. They are blitzing up here with the drone, not looking to give ZETA a moment to breathe.
Yeah, this is so much control, but there is counter utility coming through to at least try to slow them a little bit. 3 players available on that B side as well, so even the faster pick might not go too well. But yeah, they're splitting away from this, and makiba's going to be the only point of contact.
They've cleared the side out at this point, or they're just about to. Mazino dying on the cross. It's not going to be the biggest loss, but that could have been the lockdown for the late stage. And almost a guaranteed round on the back of it. Rolling Thunder, ready to roll with KRÜ. Popping that and knocking at least 2 of these players off. They're stunned, and here comes the dash on the side. NagZ not able to get anything done. In fact, it's a shorty to take him down, and very, very clean indeed from ZETA. They get in there with all 5 players still alive as the defuse comes through.
Yeah, beautiful retake. So ultimate committed. That's what we expect to see a little bit more from the Rock up top. Let's see, right. Long way to go. Oh, it's a bit of a whiff from Reita. He's going to actually get tagged up by the drone, and they're going to pop the Hunter's Fury after this. They're going to try and clear him out, and they will do just that.
Oh, that didn't tag anyone. It looked like it was going to get 3 for me, but they've just about managed to avoid the Hunter's Fury afterwards. KRÜ have got so much to play with here, and it's a lockdown that starts it off. The shock darts had already come in, so even though they can tickle it up with the second one, they can't really destroy it. And obviously, the Hunter's Fury getting used up a couple of rounds ago means that it isn't there either. So it's a time delay. KRÜ are able to run that clock all the way down. The Blade Storm here for NagZ, an effective shotgun at this close range angle, but he kind of needs to make a move. Now that these players are looking to come out, Mazino is dead. Oh my god, they're getting it done so quickly! It goes down to 1 player, and Klaus is dealt with as well.
I hope Ballatw's got another round ready. It's a completely different match at this point. Now we're starting to look at KRÜ and wondering if they can bring anything back from this. The spam, they'll do a little bit, but not really catch anything from it. Again, though, it's going to be this after-plant scenario. They've taken the site without many problems at all, but by the looks of it, ZETA are okay with that.
Not going to be a connection for Mazino there. He's had a really tough time when it comes to these mid-fights. I wouldn't be surprised if he just backs off. In fact, goes straight out, takes down takej. KRÜ just need the 1 round, and this could be it. The spike planted, and the man advantage is theirs. As the timer ticks away, ZETA are waiting out the utility, trying to use Reita to gain them a little bit of space to push into the site. The flash actually catches him, but he's able to drop down still. Dalzik eliminates him. KRÜ dealt with another falling makiba, and Laz doesn't last long. 13-8. Yeah, we've seen it in the past, that's for damn sure. Let's see if it works out this time around. ZETA on the attack side. They've got their wall down on B. They're looking to crunch A, though. Mazino up on top of the ice wall, comes out as the ammo runs low, but KRÜ is there to save the day and keep them with the man advantage. Dalzik in trouble now. The teammates in here to help. Nades, boom bots, everything can be thrown on the other way. It looks like there's no such thing as a left click on this server. Everyone's right clicking those classics, and KRÜ is having a field day so far.
Do they expect Reita to be in this position? The rest of the team have gone sprinting over to the B site. They've locked off Heaven with the Sage Wall. They've got the slows to allow them to cross, but then there's this flank coming in from behind from Reita. In fact, there's even the second one coming through just later on. I don't see any way that the defenders get back into this round, and takej clearly feeling a little Yeah, the problem is as well, they can't even really get too aggressive because they don't have any flashes. So it's not like they can like pop flash them out and all go through together. They almost have to rely on the stuns of something like Astra or maybe a Gravor to try and pull people in. So being aggressive on the defensive side is actually going to be relatively difficult for KRÜ unless they're just going almost dry peeking into a fair few angles. So I'll be interested to see how they actually get that done and how they play it. And for ZETA, as I said, like they're falling into these defaults quite regularly, just playing slow on their attacking side. It definitely didn't work amazingly on the previous map, but as said, they don't have that same initiation power that we saw on the last.
Oh, what? How's he gotten out of there alive? He's still alive! How's he on site? Reita was holding for that, the dash, fair enough, and then a complete whiff. NagZ in the spawn now. Great opening pick for them. They want to deliver a little bit more, but KRÜ again on the A lurk has been huge. He dragged over rotates here with the Viper wall earlier, comes in on the perfect lurk, and he's opened up another opportunity for them to push in. You have the Tiger put down to clear out vents. They're coming into heaven, guaranteed that they still have site control as they come out. They've maybe got a fight on the cross, but it's going to be a pretty tough fight for the KRÜ side to win. And as you see, the plant comes in. KRÜ, ooh, he's in trouble, but look at the damage he's done. He's made it so easy for his teammates to clean up the rest of these kills.
Yeah, they're still not going to be over-facing, but maybe losing a weapon or two. The fact is 2 players only have pistols into this round anyway, so they might be able to retrieve the extra Spectres, and then it's not too much of a problem, and I think that is exactly what happened. There we go. In this round, at least, I expect ZETA to be incredibly aggressive, and somehow, Mitch, they've just won a mid-battle with a Spectre.
That they have. Probably shouldn't have been able to do that, especially because you actually saw that keznit was as far back as he physically could be inside event. He was not looking to make an ambitious peak. In fact, he was playing the right play. Now up close, NagZ's in trouble as well, taken down by a Spectre. Well, I don't know what bullets they've loaded into these weapons, but they certainly don't do that kind of damage when I wield them.
I don't know. When you've got the Nerf guns on the other side, you might be the guy with the rifle, right? Just shooting blanks the majority of the time. But for now, at least, it is just going to be slaughter. Nice shot, though, from Mazino. He might have just given them a chance in this round. He even comes back to get another reloading after every single shot. Didn't seem necessary, but clearly he feels he needs the extra bullets. takej will close out.
Didn't look to be going their way.
And now they're even going to play this one as a little bit of a bonus. They've kept a pistol onto Laz. Seems a little bit unnecessary, but with what they're up against and how good he is with the Sheriff, I guess it's not really too much of a problem.
Great denial on the early round as well, because NagZ was just about to get his Bladestorm online with that Ultor, but they managed to shut him down, put the Tiger through to guarantee that he's fallen all the way back and not holding a nasty little side angle. Good shutdown by Bars. That means he won't be losing the weapon up behind, and now things are looking pretty clean. I mean, hard to really get anything done from KRÜ's position at this stage.
They can also use Laz as bait if they really want to, but then again, he's going to be the one to find the kill. And, well, 1 kill.
And it was a huge difference maker when it came down to Ascent and taking that B main control, and it looks like it'll be no different this time around. A great opening with Reita out of the round already.
I swear, the more I watch Jets in this tournament, the more I realize how overpowered the dash is. Just gets right up in the faces of opponents and just like, see you later.
I can already see Lothar nodding at home. Yes, nerf it. It's been calling for it for months, and you can see why. He gives someone like NagZ the ability to just walk through a smoke, take a one-shot kill, and get out of there instantly. It is a pretty overpowered loadout, and that's why we see it used up so much, but it didn't help Reita at all.
Luckily, takej has got a fair few kills already in this game. There is going to be a paint shell thrown through to try and counter, but it doesn't actually catch him at all, maybe expecting him to be just that little bit deeper. The problem is this whole excursion into getting him back in the round has basically left them with 35 seconds to try and make a full execution, and the spike is currently in mid, Mitch. This is a little bit worrying for ZETA.
Yeah, there's not a lot of control for them. They do manage to spread back out into middle, but there's a wall up. They're going to have to get past that. The time is really running low at this point. 20 seconds on the clock as they look to move on through. They're clearing the backside, spotting out. There's 2, now 3 players in position to hold this one down. In fact, the operator just around the corner. 10 seconds left. The time is going to be the true enemy of ZETA on this one, but never mind, because they just get a flurry of frags to put 5 on. They still manage to get back into it, and that's a very concerning sign for KRÜ.
Again, we're going to see mid control, but NagZ, well, it really does just seem like aggression is the name of the game. Now, there is going to be a trade back. Reita wants to try and at least keep the man advantage in check, but instead, it's just going to be battles across the map. This default hasn't been going fantastically. Delzik almost catches him taking the orb, and again, it's just going to be the fallback from the attackers. The clock ticking a little bit, Mitch.
4v4, do you really commit to that ult orb at that stage versus pistols? I mean, that is a big risk with nobody covering you, but fair enough. Spray down good for Reita, shutting down Delzik. I mean, they've got control over the side at this point. Finding another opening is the name of the game here. There it is. keznit able to grab one onto Reita. It's still within the realm of possibility, and at the very minimum, just dealing damage is what they want. As they try to push forward to retrieve that Vandal, Laz does just the same.
Will force him off the angle, and by the looks of it again, they're going to be challenging for the orb. In fact, they've even popped Seekers incredibly early on, but this is a ruse, Mitch.
And look at that, NagZ goes back out for the peak, taking down Reita. That's huge, but have they noticed that it's yet a hit? Takej is able to grab open the kill, find a side. That spray down goes Mazino's way, but he can't get out of there alive. That could have been huge. KRÜ setting up for the retake, but now the man disadvantage no longer in play for ZETA. The showstopper of keznit is what I'm looking at, though. That could be the difference maker right now. They're grouped up and looking to come straight out of spawn. And the first player they'll take contact on is Gares, and that's exactly who they're trying to take down. The orbital strike comes in. He's low HP, but he survives the showstopper. The teammates can't push with him. What a play by Gares. And now things are looking doable. Takej, not spotted up above, quickly picks off one, and NagZ is off to save.
A big round again from ZETA, and I love the fact that after this pause comes in, they've not just sat there, they've not gone, okay, let's just stick to what we've been doing. They come up with a really audacious strategy, a fake that was definitely a little bit risky, throwing some players into that B site, but it worked.
They dash in with Reita, and he dies instantly. Yep. So that fake was as short as it physically could have been, and they still capitalized on it time-wise. Now they know they can push this operator back. The operator, though, isn't here to play with. NagZ is moving down middle. Look at it. He's pushed all the way down. He's going to get an early fight onto Gares before the site is even challenged on, and he wins it out. Now they just need to hold on, but on the site, in comes Reita, and he's got the Blade Storm to play with. A nice double opening. NagZ rallies in to help out his teammates, rushing with an operator in hand, trying to stop the plant. He's dealing damage, but no kill yet. A 4 versus 2, but that Viper's Pit could be all that ZETA need to close this out. KRÜ has to stay alive. What a shot onto NagZ. An ambitious play, dropping out of heaven with an operator in hand, and now they'll group up, and they'll even start to flank around on them. This is gorgeous. Takej caught, and it's all on to KRÜ. No snake bites to work with. He has to do it with the weapon in hand, and only one left, but Mazino just about connects. The first round finally on the board for KRÜ, but that was damn close.
Position so that it will at least give away the spot, so he'll have the chance to pivot. It mainly comes down to the timing, though. If ZETA can get this right, they can make it a really awkward battle for the remainder, and they're actually going to try and fake things out a little bit by throwing the Tiger in the opposite direction. It's an attempt to try and make players move, and I think they might be.
If keznit uses his nade, he confirms that they've rotated, and it's going to be a straight hit towards B, so he's got to just hold off, not use his utility, and hope to take these fights. But NagZ's being forced out of heaven, the flash, meaning that he pulls all the way back. keznit does the same, plays behind the smoke. They concede the control, but ZETA are going to look to use that to their advantage, wanting to push all the way through, and the timing is glorious. keznit falls, but NagZ isn't letting it go that easily. A double kill, and as they try to flank him out through elbow, Klaus is still holding strong. The shot not connecting, but it might not matter, because very safe position, holding down on middle, pushed out. And in fact, all the way out. He is really looking to take this fight, and he managed to get behind the box, so that flash didn't blind him. They thought mid was clear, and then he gets a free kill. And again, we're going to have to see that very early round ult used to res a player up, but they're ready for it this time. The nade going in for damage, and NagZ delivering on the Blade Storm. The numbers remain even as KRÜ. A little bit of a tough spot now. They hadn't spotted that Reita went all the way through, and in fact, they know where he is, but it doesn't matter. It's good for 2.
It's the battle of the Jets just going back and forth, and now they finally face off against each other. A pistol versus the knives! And Reita wins it with the classic, barely taking any damage at all. This is his round. And while Delzik, where does he even go at this point? It seems like he has the right read. The fake from Reita hasn't pulled him off, but he needs to do so much, Mitch.
Yeah, he really does. He's got the first. Timing is good to cross over to the side. He'll be tickled up on the way. A nice spray as Bars goes down, and it's a 1v2. There goes the Cosmic Divide. They have to push him down. And as they come out of heaven, this could be the ideal scenario for him to just pick them off. On the walk through, there it is, 1 and 2! Delzik gets it done! A 4K and a huge clutch to keep KRÜ in it, 7-3. They continue closing in that gap.
Down, but they've actually got this site for free. The rest of the players are almost just sitting straight into a retake. They want to try and find the picks back in, and while just a tiny gap is enough for Laz to fall.
That's the first down, the first of many, and a big deal to take those flashes out in the early round. Here comes the lockdown. They're forced out of position, no good trade out, but there's a second player here. Delzik, again, saving the day. That lockdown coming into effect. They have given up on trying to destroy it. ZETA falling all the way back. They're going to rely on Bars coming in on the flank. He just needs 1 kill and Orbital Strike will be online. It's a 2 versus 2. Now, Bars, the solo man, but he, oh no! He's taking the molly out to try and take the fight. He wanted to deny the defuse, but instead, he loses his life. And KRÜ push up to 4. Another successful retake for this defensive side, and they started off incredibly slow. But they have found
Great for ZETA. That's a pretty damn good comeback.
It absolutely is. And for the team that has the map advantage, remember, there is no pressure on this team's shoulders. They are used to playing at international lands. They've been here before. And they're coming into a position where if they lose this, they've got another map to rely on. Good opening by Delzik, the operator, not quite landing. NagZ gonna have to help out his teammates because Delzik is running right into the nade, but it doesn't matter. The entirety of ZETA is being dealt with in a matter of seconds and a showstopper to close out the half. 7-5. They couldn't find it from ZETA's perspective where they're like, we would have won the game already.
Yep.
At this point, and it can really start to weigh on your mentality. Keznit in there with the opening, good flash, but nothing found for Laz. That is so unfortunate. The Viper Wall providing the cover as they fall on back. A disappointment, most certainly. And I mean, keeping the screen up, you know, as they come through, they're going to be lower on HP. That's a good call. And unfortunately, it has not worked out this time around. KRÜ have the man advantage and plenty of damage done to Laz and Bars.
See, now the turret being active is going to give away that there are players still waiting here. So they're not going to rotate anybody off just yet. takej has also been spotted out by the turret, but it's actually going to be his teammate that falls. Bars is gone within seconds, and now he has a real job to do. He's been impressive so far, but they need to find something.
Yeah, takej is playing with fire. They know there's at least 2 players there. Crow onto Mazino, just runs right out of the window. Gorgeous stuff. That's an opportunity for ZETA, but they need to deal with these close players. The blind goes in, the kill is there, and takej was watching for the run out. We're down into a man advantage for ZETA. The wall being broken, good kill, and keznit needs to clutch this one out. 100 HP, but 3 opponents, and it was so close with 20 left on Laz. It could have been the clutch. He would have had nade online as well, but instead, ZETA win the pistol, and we will go 8-5. Just taking a glance over. You know, one thing that I have to say about KRÜ right now, and I hate to be that guy, but Klaus had a great last map. He has 1 kill.
You calling out Klaus?
A little bit.
Klaus,
yeah, I was wondering who that was.
He was spectacular. You were talking about him a lot yesterday as if he was your boy, someone you knew well.
Well, it's because hypoc, he won't stop. He just always talks about how much he loves Klaus, but the reality is, right now, he's not putting up the figures, and it's map to map. I need to see him return to form. This Killjoy not really selling it for me. And even in the previous round, you're holding outside A for the wall to break, but your turret is still active there. They can hear that. They know it's online. Oh, what you mollied it, and Reita just runs through it. Okay, that's an ambitious play to say the least.
There do seem to be times when we're watching ZETA where I'm like, are people calling the utility they're using? It's like,
I mean, he knows he has the dash, right? But it was a little bit risky.
leaves a couple of their players low as well, but you can say the same for the other side, especially when coming up against the judge, the SMGs. I also think going into a bonus round with a couple of judges is just going to be absolute filth. Barth still fighting, but actually surviving on 14 HP, getting himself ever closer to that orbital striker. Piece of utility that's so valuable when it comes.
And he's almost out of ammo. And he's down.
They lost 2 players.
Judge lost, and considering they all invested pretty decently, that's already been a little bit too expensive. Now Mazino's in trouble. As he comes up here, he's just dead. Dead to rights. We knew he would be, but
face. And well, as you can see, Reita's in a pretty nice spot for the judge.
Yeah, it's nasty. There's not a lot you can do versus it. As you come around this corner, the first is his, the second very nearly is. Mazino left on 14 HP. He'll be hunted down, and takej passes judgment. And it's not good news for the side of KRÜ. Showstopper pop, but it's not finding anybody. Eventually fired down.
30 seconds
Shot in
left.
the dark and nothing landed. Still, Spike is going to be able to be planted here by Klaus. The 2 versus 3, this is the moment where Klaus needs to step it up. We've seen keznit with some big plays, but as we said, this map has not seen a good performance out of this Killjoy on the KRÜ side. And now is the time that he can make this happen. Weapons in hand as ZETA look to move out of heaven. They're just, they're slowing it down. They're waiting for the flash. Nice, smokes are down. Now they isolate the angle. Snake bites in. That should force them out of position. And so keznit wants to try and make a little bit of a play. They've spotted both players now. There's the information. It's coming at a heavy cost, but they managed to trade out. Laz hitting that form we saw in Ascent to put double digits for ZETA.
Yeah, I think at this stage we're now starting to look towards map 3. Like, that's a bonus round victory where they took a fairly
control right away, regardless of weaponry in hand. But they've slowed it down over on this LATAM side.
I feel like they just don't know how to deal with Viper at the moment. Again, it was something that I think Sean highlighted at the beginning of this map. If they're going to win, it's because of Viper, and I can see it at the moment. Like, they're really having to try and hit timings while going through these screens, and a lot of the time it hasn't worked out too much for them. An opening, though, and more importantly, they now have that lockdown available to try and push them back out of this site. Laz is actually just going to fight off the back of it, but to get into the corner is going to be difficult, and I think he might just get detained, so he's going to be stuck in the mud.
Yeah, they're hunting him down. Oh, they don't want to go too far in case there's a teammate close by to trade them as they go on through. A wise choice, but in this instance, they would have actually walked away with a kill. No doubt a disappointment over on their side, but the spike is planted. Orbital strike ready for Bars, and he's going to queue that up right after the smoke. Back side is going to be pushed out into the open. Delzik falls right away. Klaus getting one of his kills, one of his first kills with a turret, but it might not matter. NagZ's dealt with on the back side, and despite what was a good start for KRÜ, there is an abysmal end.
I want to point out, I think, well, he's not actually going to take the ultimate orb, but
well, let's see. 7 rounds in a row needed for KRÜ to make this one happen. ZETA just need the one to bring us all the way to map number 3. It has been a long road for this team. And after the first half being 11-1 down, I'll be honest, Tom, over in the first map, of course.
Yeah.
I lost faith in the fact that we would see ZETA reach, never mind 12, but double digits in this series.
Yeah, no, it was a really poor start. I'm glad to see them bounce back, but now we need to see a little bit more from KRÜ. They have struggled in their afterplant scenarios, and now, well, I'm not liking the look of this duel. Like, Reita sat here with a judge. Gun, I absolutely despise. We'll see if it's going to work out for him once again. takej, he's just not been missing. Here comes the judge. Of course it's going to work, and now it's left all onto one man. But he did do it before.
Well, yeah, he made the 1v4 clutch over in the previous half, but this is a bit more of a difficult task. Not rushing into the site, and he's now being spotted. They're starting to descend on these positions, rally up. takej kind of looking to take this fight on his own, but he wins it out.
Fair enough.